Hey guys, okay, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about Ron Paul and why I think he is one of the most viable candidates. As we think about America like 100 and 200 years ago, we think of a free country, a good economy, we think of America on top of the world. However, whenever we think about America today, we think about our bad credit, the largest debt America's ever seen. Obama actually increased our national debt $5 trillion in his term alone. And we think about our rights being taken from us. If we continue on this path, what does the future of America look like to you? I think we all can agree that America needs a real change, a revolution. I'll be talking a little bit about Ron Paul's past, where he came from, his roots, talking about how he's actually doing in the present and what he's doing, and I'll talk a little bit about his plans for the future. Well, he was born in 1935 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He grew up on a family dairy farm, and he became a doctor, and he went to Duke University School of Medicine, and afterwards he served 5 years in the U.S. Air Force and Air National Guard as a surgeon. He then moved to Texas and became an OBGYN. He opened his own practice, and he's delivered over 4,000 babies. He started politics in 1976 as a U.S. representative. He is now on his 12th term in Congress, and last time when he was elected, he won by over 80% of the votes. Talking a little bit about his voting record, he never voted for the NDAA. He voted against that. I'll talk about all these a little bit later. He voted against the NDAA, he voted against the internet censoring movements such as SOPA and PIPA, and the one that's in Congress right now, CISPA and ACTA, which is more of an international version of that. He's never voted to raise Congress's pay, he actually voted to lower it. He's always voted to lower taxes, he always voted to against wars and to end wars. He never voted for an unbalanced budget. We haven't had a balanced budget in a very long time. He voted against the bailouts, and he voted to limit the executive branch, and he's always voted according to the Constitution. Here's a little graph for y'all. Romney and Obama basically vote and have the same background and are for the same things, and as you can see on Ron Paul's, he's for all this stuff, and he's the only one in military service. You see it right in the middle right there. A few people that endorse Ron Paul is Joe Rogan. He's he's a USC commentator, I think, and he's also from Fear Factor. Peyton Hillis, a running back, Vince Vaughn, Tim Duncan, John Mayer, and these kids right here. These are the Romney boys. They're Mitt Romney's cousins. They said that even if Romney wins the Republican nomination, they're still going to write in Ron Paul. And it kind of shows you how much of a sellout Romney is, that even his family won't even vote for him. He has a rapid growing supporters despite the media blackout. Like whenever he won straw polls in California, CNN said, "Oh, that doesn't mean very much." This is the first time they think California will be a Republican state, and they have one of the most delegates, so this is a really big win for him. Whenever Herman Cain won the straw polls in Florida, the media went crazy, and Florida is a tiny state. He had a few rallies all over the place. He's recently had 2 in Texas, one at Texas A&M in College Station and one in San Antonio, and there was over 3,000 at each one of them. And one in San Antonio, I know the media only said there was about like a couple hundred people there, but I was physically there, and all the media was there before he even spoke, and they left before everyone even finished showing up. So yeah, sure, it was accurate for that time. They weren't there after everybody showed up and he was talking. There was 8,000 people showed up in Berkeley College in California, and in Michigan State he had 4,000. Here's a little picture for y'all. Mitt Romney had 350 people there and free donuts, and Santorum had 300 people there. And while Ron Paul again had 4,000, but the media only covered Santorum and Romney. He also has enormous military support. Over 74% of active military endorsed Ron Paul. As you can see from this graph, Ron Paul has the most active military donations. He has more than all the other candidates combined, including Obama, who actually isn't on here. Who owns your candidate, and who will your candidate serve if elected? There's no Gingrich on here, but Obama and Romney are both owned by these major banking companies, and they're also owned by a lot of media, and such as Fox News or CNN, or the worst one of them all, MSNBC. While Ron Paul, I guess, kind of owned, is supported by all the active military and the troops. He has the second most amount of unbound delegates, and he's winning straw polls all over the place, however the media won't cover it. And 2 polls came out recently saying that Ron Paul's the only one that's most likely to win against Obama. So for their future, he has a lot of stuff planned. He's going to veto the NDAA, the Patriot Act. He's going to veto CISPA, and he's going to stop the TSA. From this picture right here, it says SOPA, but SOPA was obviously not made into law, but it's currently CISPA. And if that's passed, then he's going to veto it. The Patriot Act goes against our 4th and 9th Amendments. And the 4th and 9th Amendments is basically no search and seizures without a warrant. The 9th one is your rights can't be denied as an American citizen. The NDAA goes against the 5th, 6th, and 8th Amendment. The 5th one is you have a right to grand jury, militia, and life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have the due process in there. And the NDAA also goes against our 6th Amendment, which is speedy trial. 8th Amendment is no excessive bail. The NDAA says that it's only for suspected terrorists, which automatically comes to mind as like Middle Easterns or the stereotypical what we think of terrorists. However, it does include the American people. He's going to fix health care. He's going to stop the Obamacare. He's going to end all the foreign wars and foreign aid so we can secure our borders, because we need to fix America before we fix any other country that is actually none of our business. He's also going to return powers to the state, which is where a lot of people think that he's for drugs being legalized. However, he doesn't personally like drugs, but however, it's up to the states to see if they would like marijuana or coke or heroin on legalized, because who is it for the government to say what you can't intake in your body? And your body is your personal self, as long as you aren't harming anybody. I think it should be legalized. I have 5 contacts in my phone right now that if I wanted to get weed, I could in like 10 minutes. But I don't, because I don't personally want to take in that. So it's not the law that's stopping me from doing this. It's my personal beliefs that are stopping me from doing it. He's going to have a balanced budget. We haven't had a balanced budget in years. This is why our debt has gone up so much. But he's going to have a balanced budget. He's also going to cut spending by $1 trillion. Yes, $1 trillion. As you see there, that is a very long number. By eliminating 5 government agencies: the Department of Commerce, Education, Energy, the Interior, and Housing and Urban Development. He's also going to eliminate the IRS and Federal Reserve, because these are the people responsible for the dollar going down so much, and they're actually stealing from the American people. So basically, all in all, he's the only person with a military background. He has medical background. He knows what it's like to own a small business. He's doing great in polls. He will serve the country and not major corporations such as banks or the media. He's the only one most likely to beat Obama. He will end wars and secure our borders, and he will cut spending and bring back the Constitution. So if y'all are in Texas, I urge you to vote for Ron Paul on May 29th for the Republican nomination, or anywhere else to vote November 6th for Ron Paul, and if he doesn't have the Republican nomination, then to write him in. Ron Paul said, "Let it not be said that no one cared about America's future."